Hey guys, AlphaXO here, and welcome to What If Gwen Didn't Dump Trent? So, this starts after the challenge in 310 to Crazy Town. Gwen doesn't approach Trent, and she doesn't break up with him. She actually just doesn't talk to him at all. So, that means Justin doesn't overhear anything. Meaning, whoa, who gets eliminated? If it's not Trent, well, it's Owen. Owen drank all the water from the tiebreaker, and then he just wasn't useful in the stuff after that. So yeah. 30. Aftermath. The Aftermaths are here because their arc would change slightly. They don't matter too much, admittedly. Like, Ambi for real, they don't matter that much. But I just kind of I wanted to talk about them. Jeff and Bridget are still hosting, obviously. The Izzy interview goes basically the same. But the Owen interview, so originally Trent was there, right? And that caused the whole Trent versus Gwen debate. But now instead, it's the debate of, is Trent doing the right thing? Because Jeff tells Owen that, oh, actually, Trent threw the challenge so that you'd lose, you'd go home. Bridget corrects him in saying, no, he threw the challenge to protect his girlfriend. Jeff brings up how Gwen wasn't at risk to begin with, and Bridget says that he couldn't have known that. Trent was just trying to do the right thing, which gets them into a big argument about, like, oh, yeah, should Trent have done this? Shouldn't have? In the end, they end up asking Owen, like, hey, aren't you mad about what Trent did? And Owen says, well, he doesn't like that, he was out of the game because Trent threw the challenge, but he's not mad about it. And, Hammer doesn't swing, because, it was Hammer in this episode, and the episode ends with there being a bit of tension between these two, but it's not as cut and dry as, Trent kissed Heather's hat, or whatever. So yeah, Owen doesn't have too much ill will towards Trent. The Chef Shank Redemption. Okay, so, first part of the challenge, they have to put someone into a cage. This team still put Lindsay into the cage. While this team, I think they would put in someone that they think will be able to handle being in the cage, because it's Trent. I think Trent would put Duncan in, because it's Duncan, right? Now, they both, have the food, Mama Spice. Beth Retainer still falls into Lindsay's food, causing Lindsay to... Or, Beth Retainer still falls into Duncan's food, causing Lindsay to throw up. Duncan would throw up, like, almost directly after, but Lindsay, I feel, would throw up first. Giving the gaffers the advantage in the next part. In the next part, DJ is pushing the cart, while Trent is pushing the cart of the grips. He then gets a cramp in his leg halfway through and says he can't keep running, giving them the advantage for the digging, etc., etc. You can see where I'm going with this. The gaffers win. So, yeah, but Izzy does rejoin, because there's no reason for that change. Now, who goes home here? Well, I don't think it's Trent. Because even if he messed up, they don't know he's throwing, and they all like him. Like, they just really like Trent on this team. Would it be Izzy, because Izzy just came back? It's possible, but I'm gonna say no. I think it's Beth. It was her rancid retainer that caused Lindsay to throw up, giving them the initial advantage, and also just the retainer's just really gross to everyone. So, bye Beth. One flew over cuckoos. So, nothing changes. Lashana and Duncan are still the people that figure it out. Yeah, like Trent and Gwen being here changes nothing. Owen and Beth not being here changes nothing. The only thing that changes is who the symptoms start with, which would probably be DJ. Lashana still takes the reward by fake crying. That remains the same. The Sandwich Project. Okay, so DJ spent the beginning of before the challenge, he's in the kitchen with Chef, and he's talking to Chef, and he's being like, "Hey, my team's been winning a lot. Has that been you?" And Chef, even though Chef has had basically nothing to do with it, takes full advantage of this and says, "Yeah, I did. Why am I doing a voice? I didn't do a voice for anyone else. Yeah, that was me. I did it." Right? Like, he lies, he says it was all him that's causing their team to win. Which makes DJ feel even more guilty, thinking that people like Owen and Beth have been getting eliminated because of him. It makes him feel so guilty about the whole situation. Well, Heather says that Lindsay has no backbone. And Lindsay now wants to try and prove Heather wrong, like in canon. So when selecting who needs to be the scarer, DJ is forced to by Chef, while I think Trent trying to throw the challenge makes Lindsay do it. And Lindsay, wanting to prove that she's not just a follower, agrees to what Trent is saying. I know, it's that's the joke, is that she's going with what someone else said. But like, she's surprisingly good at being the scarer. Like, she is genuinely good at it because of her newfound confidence. Meaning they get the reward to the next part, but the gaffers are still able to scare them away. But like in canon, due to all the guilt he's feeling, DJ quits, saving Lindsay. Because yes, I do think Lindsay would have gone, even though she was arguably carrying the team in this challenge. Masters of Disasters. The Disaster Movie Challenge. Yay! At the beginning of this challenge, Heather is going to be talking about how, now that DJ is not working with Chef, there goes their winning streak. And, but Shauna says that she needs to stop being so negative, and that they're going to be able to get through the rest of the challenge easily. And Heather rolls her eyes in disagreements. While on the grips, Trent is talking with his team a bit, and Justin brings up how if DJ's not cheating anymore, they should be able to win challenges much easier, which Trent agrees with, but then has confessional saying that he doesn't want to win more easily. That goes against the entire thing he's doing. At the challenge, no one gets injured, but I do think the grips win the first part of the challenge because they just have less people. They then get the code, and instead of it being Justin and Lindsay fighting for the code, it's Trent who accidentally drops it into the water. They then both almost die, and Harold saves the day, but the gaffers find out that Lashana was lying. Full Metal Drama. So, first part goes similarly. Izzy goes way too crazy with boom boom explosivo, while Duncan makes a very good controlled explosion shaped like a skull. After that, they get the chest. Lashana doesn't have the weird fart thing because Owen's not here with a broken jaw, so no medicine. Thank gosh. And yeah, but even despite that, we've got Lindsay's leadership, where she wasn't that great at leading, it was mainly Beth making all the plans, with Trent trying to throw. I think the gaffers win again, and they vote off Izzy, probably. Even if Justin's good looks isn't working anymore, it would be probably easier for Justin to convince Trent to vote off Izzy, because Izzy, even if she's crazy, is good at challenges. So, yeah. Aftermath 2. In Aftermath 2, Jeff and Bridget keep talking about the Trent situation and how, basically Jeff and Bridget tell Beth and DJ that it was actually Trent throwing the challenges, not that it was DJ or Chef helping DJ. DJ feels betrayed by this because the whole reason he quit was because he thought Chef was having an impact. But he wasn't. Chef didn't really do anything, except, in the horror challenge. But I don't think Jeff and Bridget I don't think Jeff is as fame hungry as he was originally, just because the first Aftermath ended in a much more chill way. He's still being a bit prissy and, being very fame hungry, but he's not going to be as fame hungry, But yeah, that's the Aftermath. Oceans 8 or 9. So, Shauna is locked in the safe. I think Trent is locked in the safe. So, while the Grips spend forever trying to get Trent out, the Gaffers are able to rob the bank because they leave Lashana behind, meaning Courtney goes on to the Grips. Now for the go-karting section of the challenge, Courtney whispers to Trent, saying, "Hey, I don't want you throwing this one, okay? Or else." Now this worries Trent, because someone knows he's throwing challenges, and if he gets voted out for that, how is he going to help Gwen? So, Trent doesn't throw the challenge, and the Gaffers, being incredibly confident, and also the Grips not having Owen eating the go-kart parts, the Grips surprisingly win the challenge, meaning the Gophers go to elimination, which is pretty obviously Lashana going home. Will $1 million BC. So, this starts with Trent talking to Courtney, with Trent just being like, "Please, please don't tell anyone, not even Gwen, about what I've been doing." Courtney says that she'll think about it for an alliance. Trent says, "Fine, whatever," and then Courtney says, "And a cut of the money if you win." Trent says that you can't do that. And Courtney says, "Then that's too bad. I'm sure Gwen will love to hear about what you've been doing." And Trent annoyingly agrees. So, in the challenge, pairings are Justin versus Harold, which is the only pairing that we still have. Well, not the only one, because we also have Courtney versus Duncan. But then I think it's going to be Gwen versus Trent, Lindsay versus Heather, in which Trent is going to fall and act like he got hit before Gwen even tries to swing at him. In which that would confirm Gwen's suspicion that Trent has just been throwing the challenges for her. Because, she knew, but, she wasn't sure. And that makes her very upset. Because she doesn't want him throwing challenges for her. If she's going to win, she wants to earn it. So Gwen goes to Trent after the challenge and attempts to talk to him, but Courtney pulls him away, saying that they have important matters to discuss. Courtney in confessional says that she knows that Gwen knows, but she can't let Trent know that, or else she loses an alliance. But in the challenge, though, like legitimately, tie, Gwen wins, Lindsay wins, Courtney wins, Grips win. If you cared about that reward challenge. $1 million babies. Okay, so the first game is a slow motion boxing match. And while that's happening, Justin sneaks Courtney's PDA, saying that he needs to get in touch with his agents. He needs to know if he has any jobs left after all the mutilation he's had to go through on this show. It's traumatizing, you know? But the second game is Justin versus Heather in badminton. Harold wins, like in canon, obviously. And in this one, I'd say it goes to Heather. Then we got Gwen versus Trent. Goes to Gwen, because Trent isn't trying, which Justin gets annoyed by it, because through use of Courtney's PDA, he's found out that Trent is throwing challenges. And then Courtney versus Duncan. Courtney wins, so then they got the cheer off. But before that, Justin says he has something to announce. He says that the reason why the Grips have lost almost every challenge is because Trent has been throwing them all. This shocks and appalls everyone. Trent denies it, but Justin plays a clip on the PDA showing. Courtney then gets mad and snatches the PDA off of Justin. But in the tiebreaker, the gaffers go with whatever Harold was going on about, and it's probably something like very uniformed and simple, while the Grips still go for the Chris chant, because even if they're mad at Trent, they're not going to throw a challenge to vote him out. Meaning, gaffers go to elimination, in which it's Heather. Like, there's no reason these two would be mad at Gwen for throwing. And it's like, I mean, it's Heather, you know? Like, you're not gonna just not vote off Heather. But, yeah, we're going to merge with these 7. Relatively different, you know? Like, we got a few of the same ones, but then we got Gwen and Trent still here. Dial M for merger. So, first part, Lindsay wins the costume contest. Second part, Courtney wins. But that's not what matters in this episode. What matters is Gwen finally talking to Trent. In which Gwen says that she really wishes that he didn't throw challenges for her. Trent says that he only did it so that it could get her further, and Gwen says that she doesn't want that. She's never wanted that. Trent says that he understands and he's sorry. He was such an idiot and he should have talked to you about it. Gwen says it's alright. They kiss and they're still together. But then we got the elimination. So, where are the votes going? Well, Justin and Lindsay are like, we need to vote off Trent now, right? These 3 are like, I don't know, Justin, because they don't really have any other options. And I do think they would work together, but Courtney, being Courtney, is able to get Duncan to do whatever she wants. So, in a shocking 3-4 vote, Gwen is eliminated. Hear me out, hear me out, hear me out. Before you put my head on a stick, hear me out. Courtney doesn't want rid of Trent. One, because they still have their deal about the splitting the money if Trent wins. And two, Courtney hates Gwen. And has wanted Gwen off, like Courtney hated Gwen this season, calling her gothy and all that. And there's no reason why, as soon as she rejoins the game, she wouldn't want Gwen eliminated as soon as possible. I think Courtney would go to Justin and Lindsay and say what would hurt Trent even more than being eliminated? Gwen being eliminated. And then she would go to Duncan, and Duncan would say, no, no way. But Courtney would say, oh, so you do like her more than me. And because, you know, Courtney's so jealous, Duncan feels obligated to vote for Gwen. Yeah, that was supposed to be Superhero ID. I'm dumb. It's dial M for merger. That episode, nothing important would happen there. Aftermath 3. So here, there isn't an electric chair, thankfully, but there is Jeff and Bridget completely howling on Gwen for the Trent situation. Gwen says how she had no say in it, and Jeff brings up how she could have told him not to sooner. I mean, she clearly knew. And Gwen says that she didn't really know how to handle the situation. Because, hello, her team wouldn't really appreciate her getting rid of the people making them win. But, yeah. That's that. Lashana and Heather don't really care. The rest of the aftermath would be them also arguing about Lashana, you know, the fakeness. And all that. Heather actually is having a great time at this aftermath because everyone's getting hated on except for her for once. Anyway, the Princess Pride. So, start of this episode, Justin thinks how he needs an alliance. Like, yeah, he voted with people last episode, but he doesn't really have an alliance. He can't work with Trent because that's who he wants out. He wants Trent gone now. Lindsay doesn't fall for his looks anymore. Duncan and Harold are Duncan and Harold. So, he goes to Courtney for an alliance. But then, after a bit, he starts to fall for her. Also in this episode, Trent is incredibly bummed out that Gwen is gone. So, Duncan goes to him and is like, hey, you miss Gwen? Yeah, me too. Trent says, of course you do. You're totally into her. Duncan says that is not true. He's only got eyes for one girl. And that girl happens to be the most deadly thing on the planet. Duncan says that he gets it. You know, when Courtney was booted last season, it really bit. And it just sucks that that's happening to him. Trent says, thanks. And Trent says in confessional that even if it didn't really do anything, I mean, it's Duncan, he's surprised that Duncan even tried to help him out. In the challenge in the first part, Courtney is still the princess. Lindsay and Trent fall off the bridge. Duncan is cheating. Second part goes basically the same. Duncan and Harold, go down for Justin's plan. Justin gets thrown off by Courtney. So, elimination time. What happens? Well, eliminated is Justin. And he is shocked. He's upset. He's like, well, why are you getting rid of me? Trent's the one who threw the challenges for half the game. Who knows, maybe he did it today. But there's nothing he can do. He was flirting with Courtney, and Courtney is into Duncan. So those two voted for him. Trent, obviously. Lindsay's not into him, and he just betrayed Harold. Justin, without even realizing it, burned every single bridge he had in one day. Get a clue. This goes basically the same as in canon. Everyone thinks it's Duncan at first. Lindsay figures out it was Courtney. And then Lindsay takes Duncan to the movies. Rock and rule. Okay. People might not like this decision. Owen still comes back. He was eliminated even earlier this time, so it makes sense for him to be a comeback. And also with him being eliminated due to Trent throwing challenges, it's got him upset. But this challenge, the challenge itself goes the same. With Courtney winning overall, Lindsay winning the second part, Duncan winning the first part, but Courtney has immunity. No one else does, obviously. Now, Owen, Harold, Trent, and Lindsay are hanging out. Look, Courtney says how she wants Lindsay gone. She keeps getting everything that she wants, and she wants her gone. Duncan has no objections to this. While these three are thinking, Harold goes to these two, and is like, hey, I know we can't vote out Courtney, but why don't we vote out the next best thing? Duncan. Lindsay says that, yeah, I mean, he wasn't really a conversationalist when they went to the movies, so she doesn't really mind. And Trent says that he's been looking for a reason to, take him down a peg. So he's in. At the elimination, there is the person eliminated is Duncan. Lindsay, Beth isn't here anymore, so Lindsay isn't distracted by anyone, meaning she doesn't hit her own button. Now, you might be thinking, but wouldn't that make it a tie? No, because Owen voted for Trent. Because even if he's fine with it, he has no reason to want anyone else gone. Courtney wasn't in the game when he was eliminated. Duncan is his friend. Harold and Lindsay are his friends, kind of. The only person he has a reason to vote for is Trent. And he says in a confessional that he's honestly really glad Trent didn't get eliminated. He wouldn't want to be responsible for who went home. He felt like he needed to get at least a little bit of payback, and he hopes that doesn't make him mean or anything. Crouching Courtney, hidden Owen. Okay, so in this one, obviously, Courtney coaches Lindsay, Trent coaches Harold. Robot fight, girls lose, guys win. Climb mountain. And while they're climbing the mountain, Harold talks to Trent about honor. Trent says that, yeah, he knows a bunch about honor. I mean, he was honoring Gwen for the whole game. And Harold says, that's not honor. You left your entire team behind. That's not what an honorable samurai does. And Trent says, how would he know? It's not like he has any girls to throw the game for anyway. Now it caused them to have an argument. And Harold spills Trent's water. Yeah. 2008, A Space Owen. So, let me just get the the thing right now clear. Courtney hates Lindsay. Harold and Trent hate each other. Lindsay and Courtney hate each other. There's no clear alliances anywhere. Owen is here to try and shake up the game. Does that make sense to everyone? Okay. So, first up, in the challenge, Courtney still gets the choice of the order she wants to have go into the thing. The order she decides upon is Lindsay, Harold, Owen, Trent, her. In the end, I think the person winning is, surprisingly, Owen. I don't think Lindsay's lasting too long. Harold canonically lasted less time than Owen did. Trent has to go in after Owen, and Lindsay has to go in after Trent throws up. Well, Courtney just refuses to go in, but yeah. So Owen wins. Harold figures out that Owen's a traitor, but, you know, there's nothing he can do. He won immunity. So where do the votes go? Well, they go to Courtney. Like, even if people are arguing, they go to Courtney. No one wanted Courtney in the game. Okay, top dog. Here we go. So, the animals, everyone... Well, first of all, before the challenge, Harold tells everyone that Owen is a rat. Or a mole, or some sort of rodent. Then Owen makes a comment about how he could go for some grilled rodent right now. But then, you know, everyone's shocked and appalled, and Chris says, "Cut, cut, cut, this isn't supposed to happen." He boots Owen. Yes. He boots Owen before the challenge even begins, before the elimination. So, we have the final three doing the challenge. Harold. First of all, who takes one animal? I think Lindsay picks the chameleon because she says it goes with her eyes. The chameleon then changes colors, and then Lindsay says, "Well, not anymore." Harold takes the raccoon or the bear? Because the raccoon looked like glasses. But no, Harold takes the raccoon. That leaves Trent with the choice between a bear and a shark, and I think, or not just, leaves Trent with the decision between a bear and a shark. Trent takes the bear. During the challenge, Trent gets mauled, Harold gets there first, and obviously Trent is eliminated, meaning our final two is Harold and Lindsay. Now, this can't be a what if anymore because it's the finale and there's two endings, so here is just a rewrite of the finale. So, starts off, and honestly both of them have to do most of the challenges. Lindsay obviously gets the Beth question right, while Harold gets the Shauna question right, but either way, they basically both have to do the challenges, and they'd keep a pretty equal pace. I mean, it was said in the sports challenge that they're both the least physically fit contestants in the show, or at least at that stage in the game. So they go in there and they tie. Whoa. So it's put to a vote. Who do I think is... Now, obviously, two endings, but that also kind of doesn't work for action. So... let's just see what we think would happen. So, I assume it's only the action contestants who get a vote, meaning Jeff and Bridget get a vote, in which they, I think, would vote for Harold. Izzy has the next vote, where Izzy votes ex placebo. Owen, despite technically being fourth place, does get a vote, which I think he votes for Lindsay. Beth is up, and obviously votes for Lindsay. DJ votes for Harold. Shauna votes for Harold. Heather votes for Harold. Gwen votes for Lindsay. Justin votes for Harold. Duncan votes for Lindsay. Courtney votes for Lindsay. Trent votes for Lindsay. 2 endings. I'm very surprised that I did end up with an even split. The most iffy one there, I'd say, is probably DJ, so you can say DJ is the decider or whatever. Again, it's weird, but Action is a weird season. But yeah. Hope you guys enjoyed this What If. We got our winners, Harold and Lindsay. Normally I'd go down and look at the elimination order, but I can't really do that with Action What Ifs. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see you for the next What If, which should be what if Sierra didn't like Cody. Also, I have a form in the description I'd like you guys to check out and basically just put in who your favorite Total Drama contestant is. I'm just doing a bit of research for purposes. Please fill that out. Alright, also join the Discord. Goodbye.